Time now to dive into the world of K-sports. And for that, we've got our sportscaster, Jason Lee, in the studio. Welcome back, Jason.
Hi,
hello.
Jason.
All right, so today we're obviously going to talk about the Winter Olympics.
How can we not?
And of course, because we're going to talk about the first couple of medals
Yes.
for Team Korea. But what other stories will we be talking about today?
Yeah, well, not only will I talk about Korea's first two medals, I'll also preview when you can watch some of the upcoming events, including some of Korea's stars as well. Also, Lee Gang-in and Oh Hyung-kyu both scored goals in Europe this week. And in golf, can you believe it? Another top finish for Kim Si-woo on the PGA Tour. I'll let you know how he did in Phoenix. And what does K-pop have to do with the Super Bowl? Well, so far, nothing. But I think I'm going to introduce a commentary that it should be included very, very soon.
Oh, can't wait. But first, let's start with the Olympics. So Korea is on the board in the medal standing. So let's start with the very first medal.
Yeah, and speaking of on the board, the very first medal actually came in snowboarding. The name to know is Kim Seung-Eun in the men's parallel giant slalom. Now, this is where racers go head-to-head with another opponent, with the winner advancing to the next round. And to be totally honest, Kim Seung-Eun got quite lucky in this event. He had just the 8th best time in the qualifiers among the 16 finalists, and his opponent in the first head-to-head race fell, allowing him to advance quite easily. And then in the quarterfinals, his opponent, who was, by the way, the local favorite, Roland Fischneller of Italy, he also slipped in their head-to-head race. And Fischneller was the top racer on the World Cup season. Entering this games, he was the favorite to win the gold medal, but he lost. And then in the semifinals, Kim Seung-eun had to come from behind to beat Bulgaria's Tervel Zamfarov to vault him into the finals. Unfortunately, he lost in his bid for the gold medal by finishing 0.19 seconds behind Austria's Benjamin Karl. That was definitely an unexpected medal, I think safe to say, for Kim. And he himself actually showed his humility by mentioning quite often his good fortune in the post-race interviews. So he obviously is thrilled to come back with a silver medal, but at the same time, he understands and was very humble about the fact that he was fortunate to win that medal.
And we've got another piece of news in snowboarding, right?
That's right. That was not the only medal Korea has won. Korea also won the bronze in the big air competition of snowboarding thanks to teenager Yu Seung-Eun. Yu's total score of 171 was just 1.25 points behind second place and 8 points away from taking the gold, while being 11.5 points clear of fourth place. So kind of, you know, the top three medal winners were deserving. She landed a pair of 1440s. That's like, think of it like a 360, multiply that by 4, so it's like a quad. She did 2 of those spins. She actually had the lead going into the third and final jump, but unfortunately she got passed and had to settle for the bronze medal. But a little bit unexpected. She was obviously thrilled to be on the podium as just a teenager, her first Olympic experience, and what a night it was for her.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you telling us that snowboarding is a category to look out for Team Korea, but those are some names that some might have not expected before.
Absolutely. Definitely not experienced in terms of they're the favorites to win, but, you know, sometimes in sports, that's why you play the games, because you never know what's going to happen.
That's why it's fun.
Yeah.
That's why both of them were very satisfied and very happy with silver and bronze. Now, when can we expect some more medals from Korea and perhaps the first gold for Korea?
That's right. Korea's still looking for a gold medal. Perhaps it could come as early as tonight. Medals will be available tonight in short track speed skating, of course, Korea's most successful sport. The mixed relay finals will begin just after 9 p.m. Korean time. And then the next medals in short track won't be until Friday early morning, with the women's 500-meter race as well as the men's 1,000-meter race at around 5:30 a.m. Also, figure skating. Cha Jun-hwan, he starts his short program in about 12 hours from now. That's at 2:30 a.m. Wednesday morning, and the free skate will go at 3 a.m. early Saturday morning. So we should get to see the results and the medal winners at around maybe 6 a.m. Korean time on Saturday. The event that I've been looking forward to, I've been telling everyone, that's going to happen early morning Friday when snowboarder Chae-geun goes up against Chloe Kim in the half pipe. The first runs start at 3:30 a.m. Medals should be decided maybe around 5 a.m. And I keep saying I can't wait. This is going to be so exciting.
And I've seen in a recent interview by her saying that, she's no longer my role model. Now she's my rival. So definitely looking for that match.
She was saying that about Kim, you mean?
About Chloe Kim.
Yeah,
Yeah, because Chloe Kim's the two-time defending champ. She's looking for a third championship, but in the way, Chae-geun say not so fast.
I know. So that's going to be South Korea versus U.S., but two contenders of Korean descent.
Yes.
And one born 2008, I think, Chae-geun, and one born 2000. That's going to be really a big game to watch for. But now, from snow and ice, now let's go over to the soccer field in Europe, because you mentioned, Jason, we've got a pair of goals for Korean players there.
That's right. And Lee Gang-in in particular, just his second appearance of the season. I mentioned last week he made his debut. He entered this game again as a sub, this time in the 67th minute. And then just 6 minutes later, he scored on a shot from inside the box with his left foot. It was a nice shot that went through two defenders as well as the keeper. Probably should have had an assist in this game as well, as he put a nice free kick into the danger area. And the ball was kind of mishit in the 6-yard box as it hit the crossbar and out. PSG goes on to win the game 5-0 over Marseille, though. Also, Hyun-yu over in the Turkish Super League. He scored what I think could end up being the best Korean goal of the year. It might stand up. We got a lot of year to go through, but he went upside down for a bicycle kick and scored bar down. He also drew a penalty shot, and then that was converted by a teammate. So he was in on both of the goals as Besiktas played to a 2-2 draw. Fantastic goal that he scored. It's great to see Koreans playing with confidence in Europe, especially in a World Cup year. So we'll see how these guys do.
Let's see how long that is going to hold up to, because I remember you mentioning another goal before was the best goal you saw this year.
in the under 23
Right.
tournament. Yeah,
Right.
I thought one of the Korean goals was one of the best, but no, this one tops that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is amazing. It was like his, back to the net, feet
Like
overhead, upside down.
Bicycle kick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think in Korea they call it an overhead kick, but yeah, we call it like an upside down bicycle kick. It was fantastic.
We'll keep an eye how long he can hold the record.
Yeah.
And now shifting to golf, it seems like we're talking about him every week, but Kim Si-hoo once again topping at PGA. So do we have some good news related to maybe his win?
Well, I can tell you that he did not win, but can you believe he pulled off another top finish, tying for third place at the Phoenix Open. Kim Si-hoo had the low round of the tournament with a 9 under 62 in round 2, but he settled for a 15 under total, which was just one stroke behind Chris Gotterup and Hideki Matsuyama. Gotterup won the event in a playoff on the third extra hole. Kim Si-hoo now finishes 11th, and then it was 6th, and then 2nd, and then now 3rd so far this year on the tour. So all I can keep saying is that he's due to win. He's due to win. Maybe next week. He's due to win. He keeps finishing so well. I mean, we're going to think that golfers just always do this, but it's not the case.
I know.
To finish this well in 4 straight tournaments, it's unheard of. So he is truly due to win.
Well, let's see next week. And now, Jason, at the beginning, you mentioned that K-pop could have something to do with the Super Bowl. What is that all about?
Okay, so I'm saying that K-pop definitely should have something to do with the Super Bowl. Of course, the Grammys was just on recently. We've seen all the success of K-pop Demon Hunters and Rosé with APT. And, as you know, the Seattle Seahawks just beat the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60 yesterday. And, I was watching the halftime show with Puerto Rico's Bad Bunny headlining the show, and I noticed almost the entire show was in Spanish. Of course, Bad Bunny won a Grammy last week for Album of the Year, and he's from Puerto Rico. And it got me thinking, it only makes sense that BTS be the halftime show for Super Bowl 61 next year. Because, you know, that game is going to be played in Los Angeles, where, of course, K-pop is obviously very big. And I think this would be a win-win for both BTS as well as the NFL, because their fan bases, they don't really overlap a lot. They're quite different. So it'll give BTS more of the American mainstream audience, while the NFL could really advertise to BTS's army and their global audience. The NFL often plays games in Europe. I think they're scheduled to play 9 games in Europe next year. Obviously, they've got North America covered, but they really don't have a presence in Asia. Hello, BTS, Asian presence. I think these two teams need to work together. The only problem at the time being is that BTS, I noticed, will be playing in Melbourne the day before the Super Bowl next year, February the 14th. So there could be some rescheduling needed, but I think this just makes too much sense for both sides not to get involved with doing something like this. I mean, probably the biggest musical performance of the year, I would say, is the Super Bowl. You get so much more exposure. It's the most watched television event in North America. So for BTS, it just makes sense that, you know, they're already this big, but to go after the mainstream U.S. audience, it makes sense for them, and obviously for the NFL to get a big-time show advertised to the Asian audience that they like to have a bigger presence. Why not?
Right. Why not? Yes.
And I mean, it makes even more sense because if I'm correct, back in 2024, when Usher was performing at the event, Jungkook also got the offer, but he declined. And why that? Because of military service. And now BTS is back. They're getting ready for their comeback in March. So there is maybe a big chance. And he also mentioned the Grammys.
Yes.
Maybe we'll have a Grammy or two for BTS, and then it makes even more sense.
Yeah. I think, if BTS were to, you know, certainly get nominations and perhaps win a Grammy next year leading up to the Super Bowl, then, you know,
perfect.
How can you not, you know, script this any better than that for both sides? So obviously BTS is due to bring out their new album very, very soon, and then they're going on the World Arirang tour, right? So once they do this, with all the hype around that, I can't see how the NFL could ignore the possibility and the advantage of trying to take advantage of, you know, the hype going forward.
Wow, and I just noticed you're wearing BTS color today. Represent!
But every week, every army. But yeah, I think it's wonderful that on K-Culture Dive, we get to integrate sports and K-pop, all the K-cultural elements together. And thank you very much, Jason, for all those updates. You must be very busy, especially because of the time difference in Italy.
1:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, watching the Olympic sports. But, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way.
So we're looking forward to next week as well. And yeah, have a great rest of the week.
Thank you, Jason.
And thank you, Bella, as always. We're going to see you back here in a few days, right?
Yes, I'll see you back very soon.